Bankhead came over from Kansas City, as we mentioned, in that deal that sent Tarnable. They got Mike Kingery, and they got Steve Shields. And here's a pretty breaking ball in the outside corner for a strike. 1-1. The word was Seattle really wanted Mark Gubicza, but they settled for this young man. At this point, they're not sorry.
He's got a chance to be a good one.
Ball 2, 2-1. He was 8-9 last year with Kansas City with a 4.61 ERA. Good control. In the 7 starts this year, he has walked 3 batters only once. And he's behind Henderson 3-1. Not missing by much.
No, that's a pretty good pitch.
And that's going to be extra bases for Ricky Henderson as Phil Bradley chases it down. He's got a good arm, but Henderson's got good speed, and he's in with a stand-up double.
Those are the things that are so important in a ball game. The close pitch, like you saw the previous fastball, knee high, had the plate. Bankhead did not get it. All of a sudden now he's got to come up with the fastball after falling behind in the count, and that's just meat for Ricky.
And here's Willie Randolph, who is cracking the ball well. His last 7 ball games, 10 for 27. He's also scored 15 runs in his last 17 ball games. Now Willie's got the average up to 294, 2 for 4 last night. Strike 1.
All he's trying to do is just get Ricky over there. But in a situation like this, when you've got a guy who is, let me say, can throw hard, but he's not overpowering in Bankhead. Quinones, as we mentioned, in the same situation in last night's ball game. Harold Reynolds is playing way off the bag. He's playing over there almost like a left-handed pull hitter. Quinones is a guy that's got to hold him on. Now you got a big hole on the left side. But the main object is getting Ricky over to third base. But just to give up an out, per se, so to speak, is really not a good play.
That's a ball, 1-1.
If you've got a guy who can handle a bat like Willie in experience. Now, if you got a rookie up there, yeah, go ahead and give up the out. Even if you get a little, just a 4 or 5 hopper on the right side. There's where Presley, he is in close. Got plenty of room on that left side. A lot of managers will tell you a lot of times, don't give up the out. Hit the ball hard.
You notice about 15 feet away from second base. There he is. He tries to slide in behind Henderson. That's the amount of room that Randolph has to shoot for should he elect to go to the left side.
Boy, you could march the whole drill team through there. And what a job the United States Marine Corps drill team did prior to the ball game. Also the Navy band. It was magnificent.
1-2. Fastball right down the pipe. Bankhead, a United States Olympic team member. Henderson away from second. In his last year at the University of North Carolina, Bankhead was a perfect 11-0. And the second baseman, Harold Reynolds, is there. Soft line drive right to Reynolds. And there's one man away.
Well, that's where we're talking about a lot of managers. Now, again, it's going against the book per se. But when you got the experience at the plate, you'll get some good pitches hit because a lot of times they're going to try to pitch inside. Now, we saw the previous pitch was a fastball right there for him, but he's thinking right side. Took it for the strike. Right there was a good pitch for him to hit fastball inside corner. And he's trying to get it over there, jammed himself.
And Mattingly steps in. 3-run homer last night. After he hit it, it looked like a breather for the Yankees, but they had a scare in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Mariners came up with a run. Scott Bradley narrowly missed a 3-run home run. So Mattingly's got the average up now to 259, and he is second in the American League in the RBI race behind Cal Ripken, who has 34.
There you see Donnie just hold up that backhand. He wants it one at a time.
Oh, what a jump. You saw the jump that Henderson got, and not even a thought of a throw. Bradley came up, said maybe, and then said, no chance at all. 5 for 5 in third base thefts for Ricky Henderson, and number 22.
Right there, Quinones was hanging close to him. Ricky, though, with the good lead, and you'll see Bradley, he just doesn't handle this pitch right there. Couldn't get the grip on it. I tell you, he is almost unstoppable. But Pinella's going to run him. You got the right-hander out there, and you got a guy who has trouble. Let's face it, Scotty swings the bat very well, but he has trouble throwing runners out. So they'll take advantage of it.
In that particular case, though, the jump was made on Scott Bankhead.
Oh, yeah. Now Quinones hung back a little bit as well because Reynolds has got no chance. So at that point, it makes it easier on Ricky and also Mike Ferraro, the third base coach.
So there's Henderson away from third. One man out here in the top of the first inning. And the Yankees are going to get a run right here. Bradley comes on. It bounces in front of him as he tried to make the shoestring catch. And Henderson scores easily.
That would have been
number 31.
That would have really been interesting if he makes that play. Bradley with a very fine throwing arm. Here's just a fastball up, Donnie, with a line drive. Now watch Bradley. If he can get it and shoestring it, which he didn't, it was going to be interesting to see because he had his momentum coming in, and he is very accurate.
We saw last night just how well Phil Bradley can throw the ball. So an RBI for Mattingly, his 11th now in his last 3 ball games, and the Yankees have jumped out in front 1-0. And here's Claudell Washington back in the cleanup spot again tonight. Claudell hitting now at .311 in his last 6 ball games. He's 9 for 21, and he's hit well in this cleanup spot.
He's done a good job. He has really done a good job defensively.
1 ball, 1 strike. It's not only that he does such a good job defensively in center field, but when you then put Ricky Henderson in left, I mean, that's the addition of Henderson in left field really makes
that's
it
the way
a
baseball
very
is in that
potent
respect. It's a domino effect. You strengthen one position, all of a sudden it's going to, especially when you get a guy who's playing a little bit out of position. Not that Ricky's a bad one, but still the point is, as you mentioned it, there's a little blooper. Little nubber right out there by the dubber.
And Mattingly will hold at second.
But you know, the thing about last night's ball game, as we were talking in Pinella's office after, was the fact that as we talked during the telecast, every time the Mariners made a mistake in that ball game, the Yankees took advantage of them. And boy, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. That's how good teams win. Take advantage of the other mistakes. They walked 4 guys, 3 of them scored. They made some plays in the outfield that weren't good. The Yankees scored runs there. And that's the way the old Yankee ball clubs used to play. They just sit back, wait for you to screw it up, and then jump all over you.
Make the mistake, they're going to beat you. Here's Pasqua. And he 1 for 3 last night. Still struggling, hitting at 164. And he takes a strike.
He put on one of the greatest exhibitions. In fact, the whole Yankee ball club was one of the best exhibitions I've ever seen in batting practice tonight. Pasqua went up in that upper deck 3 times. He went over one of those exits. He went into another exit. Kittle, Winfield, everybody.
That's fouled straight back. And one of these days, Danny is going to start uncorking it after 6 o'clock, and along with Pagliarulo. And when the Yankees start getting some hitting from the bottom part of that batting order, and if the pitching holds up, there's just no telling how good this ball club can be.
If the pitching holds up.
If. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And it is not a fait accompli that the pitching will hold up. The Yankees right now 3rd in the American League in pitching, behind Kansas City and Toronto, a 3.62 ERA. That's very impressive numbers. 2-2. Particularly from the one aspect of the Yankee ball club that was suspect at the start of the season.
This carried them.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Yankees have a run in. Runners at first and second.
Oh, Bankhead got away with a big mistake right there. Pass with a real short, quick streak. You know, one of the one of the things, too, about baseball, and the reason it goes back to that, you can run it every day, you can catch it every day, you can throw it every day, but you can't hit it every day. And that's exactly what's happened with the Yankees here. They got 4 guys who've really been struggling. Their pitching's just carried.
And the count goes full now, 3-2. He went to 3-1 on Henderson. We're talking about a pretty good control pitcher right here. You see Gary Ward on deck. He's now 3-2 on Dan Pasqua. That's a foul ball. Got a pretty good crowd out here tonight. Last night they had 27,000. Tonight I'd say they're going to be up in the mid-30s.
Yeah, they'll top 27 easily. There's all the youngsters having a big time. They open the gates up a little early. Everybody got a chance to watch batting practice. Fans were having a great time watching the Yankees hit.
Runners are going, and it's in high into the air to short right field. Coming on is Kingery, and everybody's going to have to scurry back as he makes the catch for the second out. Last night they had an exhibition here by a softball team from Ohio, the slow pitch softball team, as we watch Pasqua again.
He just flat missed it. That's all. Had a good pitch to hit. Had a couple of good pitches to hit in that sequence. And when you're struggling, that's what happens. You foul them off or pop them up.
This softball team from Ohio, they were whacking the ball into the left field stands.
I think the average weight was about 270.
Yeah, big guys. One of the guys had 235 homers last year. Gary Ward's hit the ball well, hitting at 283. And he goes to right field. Kingery thought it would be deeper. Now drops back and makes the catch to side retired. Bankhead pitches out of a big jam, although the Yankees do put a run on the board on 3 hits, but they leave a couple through half an inning of play. Yanks won, Mariners coming to bat.
You're looking at the big right-hander, Rick Rhoden, who is 34 years old today. 6'4", 205 pounds, making his 8th start, his first ever against the Mariners. Last time out against the Chicago White Sox, he beat them 3-2. So Rhoden now with a career mark of 125 victories, 100 defeats in his major league career. Checking the Yankees defensively in the outfield, it'll be Rickey Henderson in left, Claudell Washington in center, Dan Pasqua in right. Around the horn, Don Mattingly at first, Willie Randolph, the second baseman, Wayne Tolleson, the shortstop. At third, it'll be Mike Pagliarulo and the battery of Joel Skinner and Rick Rhoden.
So you look at Rhoden, you mentioned he beat the White Sox his last time out. The time before that, he beat Chicago 4-1 in a 2-hitter. And that, I would think, was Rick's finest hour thus far as a New York Yankee. The fastball working, the breaking ball, the change, everything was in perfect working order.
Well, he's the kind of guy, as you look at the coaches, there's Ozzie Virgil over at third base, and my former roommate, Big Hondo, Frank Howard.
He's quite a guy.
First. Oh, I'll tell you, there's some as good, but there's none better.
Well, I'll tell you, when they say, you said they're the coaches, if they showed just one of them and it was Howard, you'd say they're the coaches. That is one big man over there.
He's something. He's a piece of work.
John Moses will lead it off. Went 2 for 4 last night, stole a base, but back in the first inning last night, he was a little late coming in for a fly ball that Don Mattingly hit. And again, that was one of those little mistakes the Mariners made. Did not go as an error, but it was a ball he should have played.
The ball should have been caught very easily.
Switch hitter. Hitting at 270. Batting from the left side of the plate, 258, 303 from the right side. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Base hit. Clean hit right up the middle. And the Mariners put the tying run aboard right here at the outset in the bottom of the first inning.
Watching Moses last night and then tonight, he took a breaking ball up high, the first pitch of the ball game, got the fastball. He looks so much more compact at the plate than he ever has before. So evidently Frank Howard's been doing a good job with it. He looks like a different type hitter. Before he was tentative, passive. Now he's very aggressive up there.
Confident. This man is having problems. He's hit 300 each of the last 3 years, and right now Phil Bradley's struggling along with a 171 batting average. Last night was 0 for 5, struck out twice, hit into a double play. The Yankees lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first. You be careful with Moses. He's stolen 10 bases. He's been caught 5 times. This is a ball club with a lot of speed.
49 stolen bases.
Strike one. Keeping Moses close. Another one over there. Hoping to catch Moses napping. There goes Moses. And the throw to the shortstop side, and Moses in with the stolen bases.
They had a shot at him right there. They had a legitimate shot, but the bad throw took it out of play. Got a good pitch, the fastball, to throw him out, and he just hung on to it too long. You see at that point, Willie had no chance to put it on.
Good play by Willie, keeping that ball from going into center field. So Moses quickly in scoring position with nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. And the count now 0-2 to Phil Bradley. One and two.
A lot of times what will happen also, not in that particular case right here, because Dick Williams is going to be the same most of the time. But he doesn't have a whole bunch of assets. Now, the Mariners have been playing good. And up until last night, we were told they were doing all the little things right. But all of a sudden, you get a big crowd here in a city that's been struggling. Mariners only averaging 14,000 a game. And you'll get some guys who will absolutely just turn it on, turn that knob up just a dial. They will be much more aggressive because they want to impress these fans. Now, Williams is not, he's been around too long. But some of the younger managers, they will do that.
They've been playing before a lot of empty seats here in Seattle. Danny Pasqua. Moses is going to tag. Pasqua's got a good arm. Here comes the throw, and he's in. That was a good play by Moses, getting back to second as quickly as he did.
He is a good base runner. And here Bradley gets the job done. He just inside outs a fastball off Roden. Pasqua trying to get in shape, but he had to go a little too far to his left. Turns it loose, and you can see Pag having to come off the bag. Now, if it was been an accurate throw, it would have been a close play.
So Moses 90 feet from home plate. One man out. And the pride of Essex Fells, New Jersey. Scott Bradley steps in.
Tough man to strike out.
Oh, yeah. He gets the bat on the ball. Knocked down by Randolph. We've got a tie ball game. Base hit for Scott Bradley. So Bradley, who came into this game hitting .366, puts an RBI on the board.
Well, he got a good pitch to hit. A lot of guys are going to hit that one hard. The high curveball.
Ball comes to you quickly on this artificial surface.
Well, the ball should have been handled. No question about that.
Ken Phelps, the designated hitter. 10 home runs, 24 RBIs, hitting at .311. And he takes the ball.
Rick at this point does not appear to have as good a fastball as we've seen him have. Now, his best fastball came in that 4-1 victory, as you mentioned, over the White Sox. This is where the experience and the cunning and the guile has to come into play.
And also we talked about his use of the change in that game. We haven't seen a change yet for him.
You better change some speeds on this Mariner Ball Club because they're one of the youngest teams in Major League Baseball. They're aggressive, and they'll jump all over that fastball.
Well, Presley's on deck, and he's the guy I'm waiting to see what how Rodden does with him.
He's not going to throw him any fastballs in the inside corner. I'll tell you that. If he comes in, it's going to be deep unless it's just a flat mistake.
2 balls, 1 strike to Phelps, who is 3rd in the American League in slugging percentage, 5th in on-base percentage. And has hit 6 home runs in his last 14 ball games. He may have the 7th right here. He does.
Mariners will jump all over the fastball. And there it was. There it goes. Put it on the board.
Number 11 for Mr. Phelps. His 25th and 26th RBIs, and Seattle has taken a 3-1 lead. That ties him for the American League lead in home runs with Downing and Kavuria and Ripken. And here's Jim Presley, who got the Mariners on the board last night with a home run of his own.
He had a good pitch out last night off Hudson. Fastball down out over the plate. There's another breaking ball. 2 in a row to Presley. If Rick can't get the breaking ball over the way he's throwing tonight, he's in big trouble, as he already is here in the bottom of the 1st.
Mariners have put 3 runs on the board.
Cunning and guile was just a euphemism for spotting a breaking pitch.
Gets that one in. 2 balls, 1 strike. The only out in this inning was a hard hit ball, a line drive by Phil Bradley to right field. So they're teeing off on Rick Rodden. Got the outside corner, 2-2.
Another slider, 4 straight.
Presley was at 55 home runs over the last 2 seasons, with 6 on the board this year. And the count remains 2-2.
Well, Rick got away with a hanger right there. Presley has yet to prove to the Yankees that he can beat them on a breaking ball. Was he going to hang it like that last one? Yeah, anybody can beat you on that one.
Pagliarulo will have to make a perfect throw, and Don Mattingly, who scoops him as good as anybody, comes up with it.
I think that throw is by design right there. When you got to go deep in the hole on this artificial surface, and you got to get everything that you can get on it, you're better off missing low.
You think
Better off
one try?
I think he tried to bounce it over. He's trying to get everything on it. So he's going to. In fact, they practice that in the infield, especially going to their right, deep in the hole, like he had to go to the shortstop. If they got to come up gunning, because if you come up gunning and you're going to try to get it all, you're liable to throw it in the stands.
So there are 2 men out. And Alvin Davis steps in. You know what impresses me about Mattingly, amongst other things? I mean, the short hop scoop is academic and routine, but the way he plays those balls that are 5 feet away from him and scoops them, those are the toughies.
Well, when you have hands as good as Mattingly has, I mean, it's that domino effect. The better your hands, more confidence you get. Then it becomes, as you say, academic. When you don't have good hands down there, I'll tell you, every one of them is an adventure and a nightmare.
2-0 to Davis. Strike 1. He went 2 for 3 last night. Took a base on balls. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Davis hitting at .289. Mariners with 3 on the board here in the bottom of the first have jumped out to a 3-1 lead. And the count goes 3-1. It has not been a Rick Rodenish type inning.
No. He's not been sharp at all, not throwing hard.
And he walks it.
Well, the Yankees certainly have, as we talked about earlier, when Cardell's in center, not because just of the fact that he does such a good job out there in center field, it's because Henderson is such an outstanding left fielder. Same thing holds true with the Yankee infield. When you get a first baseman who's as good as Mattingly, as you look at them, sad faces over there on that Yankee bench, then that really increases your probability of playing good defense greatly, because of the fact that if you miss, as I mentioned earlier, if you miss, you get a miss low. You don't have to worry about, he'll dig it out of the dirt. Breaking pitch misses. But when you get a first baseman over there who is just mediocre, and you're trying to make all the throws perfect, you don't see a lot of wild throws, especially high to first base.
And it gives the fielders confidence knowing you've got a man over there.
That's what I'm saying. It's that domino again. It just builds on one another.
And it works for the pitcher also, knowing he has that kind of defense behind him. Yankees have made the fewest errors of any team in the American League thus far this year. Missed inside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kingery. But a 3-base hit last night. Hitting at 286 coming into this ball game. Mariners 3, Yankees 1. And this one is going to go up the gap. It's going to go to the wall. And Davis has good speed as Washington's up with it. Virgil is waving him in. Here comes Tollison's throw. He scores. And we've got a 4-1 ball game.
Another young, aggressive fastball hitter. Has quickly some activity now in the Yankee pen. Left-hander Pat Clements. And there's the fastball. He just goes right with it. And with 2 out, Davis running all the way will score easily.
Here comes Mark.
It's not so much just the Mariners. It's any club. You go out there and you don't have your good fastball, and you're not getting your breaking ball over, chances are you're not going to be around too long. It's just that simple.
Rodden's first start with the Yankees back on April the 10th, he lasted 3 1/3. In a game against Minnesota at the Homer Dome, he went 3 2/3. But 5 of his 7 starts have been what you might call quality starts. Thus far, this one would not qualify.
No. Well, in the past, when he didn't have his good fastball, he's been able to spot the slider, get the curveball over, change speed zone, and get away with some mediocre fastballs out there.
But right here, Seattle with a 4-1 lead, and here's Ray Quinones, the shortstop, taking the ball. Quinones 0 for 4 last night, but he's hitting at .302. Another key to the Mariners' success. The double play combination. Quinones, he has made 7 errors. Reynolds at second base. He is also hitting over 300. I'm talking about with the bats. They have done the job. Four runs, 4 hits for the Mariners here in the bottom of the first. 4-1 Seattle. That's fouled away. And the count 1-2. He got it. Side retired, but a big inning for Seattle. Ken Phelps smacks a 2-run home run. Seattle puts 4 runs on the board on 4 base hits. They leave 1 and through an inning of play. Seattle 4, the New York Yankees 1. Spencer Ross and Hawk Harrelson. We're in the great Northwest, Seattle, Washington. The Yankees trailing at 4-1 as we go to the second inning. You played golf today, huh?
Yeah, went out. We mentioned last night. Beautiful place, Seattle Golf Club with those high Douglas firs out there. And I saw a lot of those, unfortunately.
Yeah. You mean the balls you hit? So
You
a lot
cannot
of
hit it over them, and you can't, dadgum sure hit it through them.
What a beautiful day here.
Oh,
The sun was shining all day long. Mike Pagliarulo will lead it off for the Yankees. Took a trip over to there. They got a great farmer's market down right by the water here. And boy, if you like seafood, salmon $3.99 a pound. Kind of prices you can't get back.
$3.99. I think I paid $9.95 or $10.95 a pound for it back.
Dungeness crab, $2.99 a pound.
Meanwhile, Pags could care less right now about that. Pags is looking for something he can drive. He's been struggling so hard. And, you know, just looking at Bankhead, this is not the good stuff that he's had. We've seen him before either last year. First time the Yankees have seen him this season.
He struggled through that first inning.
He's not throwing the ball that well.
Harold Reynolds at second base.
But he appears to have better command of the breaking ball than Rodin's had thus far. There he just turned a little fastball over and got it off the end of the bat. You'll see right. Whoops. A little too quick.
That was quick. Here's last night's hero. Wayne Tolleson broke a 2-2 tie with his first home run of the season. His first extra base hit in 74 at-bats. A shot that just cleared the left field wall. They gave the Yankees at that point a 3-2 lead. Fouled away. Count goes 0-2. Big opportunity for the Mariners tonight. Kansas City is winning its ball game. The Royals lead in the West by half a game, but California losing today to Baltimore. So Seattle could move ahead of the Angels into undisputed possession of second place. The Angels, of course, hard hit by the loss of John Candelaria, placed on the disabled list. Tolly whacks that one foul for what was termed personal reasons after he was stopped for a second time for driving allegedly while intoxicated. And you know, Hawk, there's a tremendous campaign, and I'm all for it, to convince the kids and make the kids understand about the dangers of drugs. But hey, alcohol, they'll beat you up and kill you also. I mean, the kids got to be aware of that.
Well, we'll get into that in just a second. There was a good fastball right there. He just absolutely nice piece of hitting by Tolleson. Look at Bankhead. Good pitch to hit. And Tolly just hurt it. But you're so right, Spence. You know, the drug campaign is super. But that alcohol in the past, you know, unfortunately, that was one of the things that went along with professional athletes, so to speak. It was almost like a macho thing that it's got to get taken out. There's no question about it. Because of the fact, as you say, certainly all the drugs that'll do you in, but that alcohol will get you just as quick.
Joel Skinner stepping in now. Skinner struggling. Hitting only at 141. And there's a strike.
Talking about that California game, it was Baltimore, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. Angels, 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. McGregor, the winner, 2-5. Mike with the loser, he's 5-3. Lynn and Dwyer homered in that ball game.
But they are smacking home runs here.
Everybody says. Oakland beat Toronto 10-3, 10-16-0 for the A's, 3-12-0 for the Blue Jays. The loser, Jimmy Key, the winner, Moose Haas, who the Yankees will see in that series when they move down to the Coliseum in Oakland.
Good breaking ball right there, and the count goes 0-2. If Haas can stay healthy and Joaquin Andujar can come back, can't discount Oakland in that West.
Can't discount anybody in the West. Really can't. It's just that wide open of race with no dominant teams.
No balls, 2 strikes to Joel Skinner. Tolleson on at first, only 1 man out. We're in the top of the second. 4-1 Seattle. No advance by Tolleson.
Checking some other scores for you. Rangers scored 5 in the top of the 7th to beat the White Sox 7-2. 7-11-1 for Texas. 2-5-1 for the White Sox. Both runs coming on home runs. Darrell Boston is 4th and Greg Walker is 5th.
Last night, White Sox won a ball game. They shut him out. Dotson in Chicago only had 3 base hits in the game.
A lot of base on balls from Bobby Witt. That's low and inside. The count evens at 2 on Joel Skinner. Detroit beat Cleveland 5-3. Indians still struggling. 5-11-0 for the Tigers. 3-5-1 for the Indians. Winter Morris 4-2. The loser was Phil Niekro. He is 2-3. Bando, Bernazard, Tabler, Whitaker, and Lemon all hit home runs in that game.
7 runs, 5 home runs. It's amazing.
Kansas City hurt Milwaukee 13-0. Kevin Seitzer homered. Wegman the loser. Lee Brandt the winner.
Brewers just keep losing. He lost bad last night in a throwing error. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And a breaking ball down low and out of the strike zone.
Just a low curveball. Other American League action, Red Sox leading Minnesota 2-0. That's after 6 innings of play. Roger Clemens on the hill for Boston, and the Dutchman, Bert Blyleven, for the Twins.
Ricky Henderson steps in. Tolleson away from first. Henderson started this ball game off with a double down the left field line. And then scored on Mattingly's base hit to left that Bradley very nearly made a circus shoestring catch on. So the Yankees grabbed a 1-0 lead, but the Mariners back with 4 of their own in the bottom of the first. Pitching out with 2 outs. Henderson at the plate.
Well, Tolleson can steal a base. It's only the 2nd inning. 3 runs down. Bradley has trouble throwing out guys. The Yankees are 6 for 6 through the last 10 innings against them in that category. So Dick Williams just trying to take a shot right there. But meanwhile, Bankhead's down 2-0.
Well, last night we talked about the Mariner mistakes. One of the big ones was Morgan on the mound. He pitches out with Henderson at first base, takes the big leg kick, and kind of throws a changeup to home plate.
I tell you, Morgan was impressive last night. We talked about during the ball game. That's one of the better efforts. He could have easily been on the other side of that victory.
Yeah, he deserved better. The Yankees had those blue picks early in the ball game. Couple of errors by the Mariners. 2-0 to Ricky Henderson. 3-0. He's not giving in to him. Comes with a breaking ball. Yankees down 3. Give Ricky the green here.
No, not down 3 runs. He may have it, though, just the way he glanced over at that dugout.
He did, and he pops it up. Short right field. Reynolds gives away to Kingery. Side retired. Yankees get a base hit. They leave 1 through an inning and a half here in Seattle. It's the Mariners 4, the Yankees 1.
Bottom of the 2nd inning, Yankees in trouble. They trail it 4-1. And a reminder, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees as intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the New York Yankees and Sports Channel is prohibited.
Well, a tough first inning for Rick Rhoden. He was racked around for 4 base hits, including a 2-run home run by Ken Phelps. And the Yankees down in the ball game 4-1, but they have shown through the first 2 innings they're going to get some base hits off this youngster, Scott Bankhead.
Well, that's dependent upon the Bankhead. If he jumps out on top in the count and he's 0-2-1-2, then it might be a little difficult. But if he jumps out and he gets behind like he did that last inning there, and he was behind in the count, yeah, they'll get some runs off of him. Plus, you're playing in just a bandbox. It's just that simple.
Strange place for a baseball game, but like in Houston, kind of necessary to have an indoor facility to play baseball. The heat in Houston will kill you, and the rain here. It rains just about every day. Harold Reynolds leading it off.
Watch out.
Here's Tollison. Needs a quick throw. Gets it off just in time to get the Speedy Reynolds.
He played it well. Tolly preset. Reynolds has good speed, as you mentioned, Cards, and Tollison knew he had to get it over in a hurry. Preset, quick release as you look at it again. There, Roden turned that fastball over. Watch him preset right there. Boom. Everything he's got in a hurry.
You played the old Seattle ball.
Yeah, 6 Stadium. And it was, I'll tell you, it was a pain in the behind. Every day it rained. It really was. I mean, you know, it just wasn't any fun.
John Moses hits it to shortstop. 2 quick ground balls, 2 quick outs.
Watch Tollison set his glove right there. No bad hops, or not too many, I should say. You'll get occasional bad hop in this particular ballpark with the seams that they have on the artificial surface.
2 men away, and here's Phil Bradley, who lines solidly to right field to Dan Posca on his first at bat. Outside corner for a strike. 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Yankees down 4-1 here in the second inning. That one's going to go foul. Dave Winfield getting the night off tonight. Posca and right. Yankees with 3 left-handed throwing outfielders. There's David. Oh, what a pretty pitch. Broke in and over. Strike 3 call. And Bradley goes down. A 1-2-3 inning for Rick Roden. Nothing across through 2. Yankees trail it 4-1.
Arduous. Oh, were you? You know, George made some enemies out here a couple of years ago. Steinbrenner made some enemies out here a couple of years ago. I was reading this. Yeah, I remember reading a story about it. Boy, there were a couple of big articles about him out here. I don't know. It was something to do with. I don't know if it was in the horse racing industry or what. But it was something that a couple of guys out here that ripped him apart.
Well, that is directed toward the owner of the Seattle Mariners, who would like to fly away by George down to San Diego, or so it is said, to buy a baseball team down there. And the folks pretty upset with the owner of the Seattle Mariners.
Oh, boy. They are really. Talking to some guys today out there. There's a pitch right over the outside corner from Scott Bankhead to Randolph, and the count 0-1. I mean, there is venom in the dialogue. Woo.
1 ball, 1 strike. Randolph with Henderson at second base. And a soft line drive to Harold Reynolds back in the first inning.
There's one they'd like to rewind and erase a situation. Well, here we're down in the county, as we were talking about earlier. Bankhead, this is going to be the big thing for him, as we said. He does not look like he is throwing as well as we've seen him.
Quinones, bad throw, but Davis comes down with the ball, and there's 1 man away. Kind of looked like Quinones grabbed the ball and then looked toward the right field seats after picking it up.
Well, this is one of the reasons that the Red Sox made the deal last year. He just looks away. That's not a good habit to get into, but a lot of players will do it. As you see, Davis leave the bag, didn't come right down on it. He has a strong arm, good ability, but is still a young player, as we mentioned, just 23 and a little inconsistent.
First pitch to Mattingly, a ball. Mattingly hit a line drive to left in his first at bat. Bradley tried to make the shoestring catch, was unable to. And Henderson scored from third for the Yankees' run till this point.
I'd like to have seen that matchup.
Bradley's arm and Henderson's speed. Bankhead gets over and covers, and they're 2 men away.
Gave you a partial on that Boston-Minnesota game. We now have a final for you. It's 6-1 Red Sox. 6-6-0 for Boston. 1-6-0 for the Twins. Clemens now 3-3. Blyleven, the loser, he is 3-3.
Claudell Washington singled to left in his first at bat. Yankees at first and second, 1 out, and Bankhead pitched out of it after giving up the run. Pasqua and Ward to fly to right field.
Well, the key there in that first inning was Danny Pasqua had a couple of real good pitches to hit. He just didn't get it.
Two and 0. Bankhead, while working from behind on many of the hitters, has yet to walk a batter. 3-0. (23-year-old) Scott Bankhead. Ball 4. First walk issued by Bankhead. And the Yankees have a base runner with 2 men out.
Now, Bankhead is persistent. By that, here's a 3-1 count. And one reason he's had such good success, he's 13-11 in just a year in the big leagues, coming right out of college for the most part, is because if he misses, generally he misses low. He didn't hang a lot of breaking balls either.
Well, here's Pasqua. And a 3-2 pitch, lofted a high fly ball to right field in his first at bat. Strike 1. Yankees trailing 4-1 here at the top of the third. Pasqua with just 12 base hits and 74 at bats. Fouls that one away. A good rip. 0-2.
That was a good pitch by Bankhead. Started off with a fastball in the outside corner. Came back in with a fastball inside. So that's a lot of plate in the mind of that hitter. Watch the location right here. As you see Bradley sitting up. Ball inside the strike zone. Just ate him up.
And Bankhead's ahead of him. Washington leading away from first base with 2 men out.
Bankhead knows that on the 0-2 count right here that good chance that Claudell might be taking off. Well, you give Danny, who's been struggling, another shot at him. No chance this time. Way outside was Bradley, not the pitch, but Bradley was sitting about 6 inches outside.
Claudell's stolen a couple already this year. 1-2 to Pasqua. Nice play by Davis. Ball nearly skipped by him. That was a pretty good Olympic team we had.
Oh boy, Corey Snyder, Mark McGuire, Odeby McDowell, Bankhead. There he goes.
Washington's going. And it is strike 3 as Pasqua going around. Washington had the bag stolen. But the sides are tied. Yankees get a walk. They leave 1 through 2.5. 4-1 Seattle.
by Rick Rhoden taking his warm-up tosses here in the bottom of the third. Yankees trail at 4-1, and fans are reminded that tickets for all Yankee home games are available through Ticketmaster. So for more information or the Ticketmaster location nearest you, just dial 212-307-7171. That's 212-307-7171. Outside New York, dial 1-800-682-8080. That's 1-800-682-8080 for information on all Yankee home games. Yankees with the best home mark in Major League Baseball, 14-2. And of course, this is the second game of a 10-game road trip. And as we mentioned there several times earlier, this is getting one of the two toughest portions of the Yankee schedule out of the way.
You go back to last year. One of the keys to the Yankees now winning it was their inability to win at home. They were 42-39 at home.
They had the best road record in the major leagues.
Here's Scott Bradley. Singled in his first at bat. And drove home a run. His 13th of the season.
Rhoden's a little more inside his windup right now. First inning, he was coming out of there, just flipping it up there. But right now, he looks to be a little tighter.
Right to Pagliarulo off the changeup for the first out.
There's just a change. Had Bradley out in front. Kept his hands back and a little semi-line drive down to the tags. But you know, Rhoden, I was watching him warm up, then I'm watching him come in. And he had a while there as Bradley, as Bankhead, I should say, threw a lot of pitches in the first inning. From the time that he left that bullpen to the time he went out there, well, it had to be 20, 25 minutes.
Here's Ken Phelps. There's a two-run home run in the first inning.
Yeah, you got a more or less a nothing fastball from Rhoden and put it way out of here. I always like to see that guy come in from that bullpen. That way, if it's going to be a long inning, stay loose.
Willie Randolph at second. And they're a 2-man away. Rhoden's now retired 6 in a row.
Well, he's getting a breaking ball over now. There was a curveball right there to Phelps. He didn't get a whole bunch over in that first inning. There it is again. The change to Bradley. He didn't get a changeup over in the first inning.
So Rhoden settling down for the Yankees with a road to hoe here, down by 3 runs as Jim Presley steps in. He bounced to third in his first at bat. Ball 1.
And that's the best fastball he's thrown yet. I guess it's just pure plain and simple. He just wasn't loose in the first inning.
It appears that way. He wasn't really stayed away from the change in the first inning. Here's Tonneson at short. 3 ground ball outs. Well, 2 ground ball outs and a line drive to third, and another 1-2-3 inning for the Yankee right-hander through 3 innings of play. Still Seattle 4, the Yankees 1.
Right now, let's check some National League scores for you. Before 48,128 at Shea Stadium, it was the Giants over the Mets by a score of 5-4, 5-12-0 for San Francisco, 4-11-0 for the Metropolitans. The winner, Scott Garrels. He's 5-3. Ennis, the loser, he's 0-1. Dykstra, Clark, Leonard. Wow. Mets have not won on a Saturday or Sunday all season. That is unbelievable.
It's the lost weekend.
That's unbelievable.
It really is.
I don't ever recall that. Cubs beat Houston 2-1 down at the Astrodome before 34,921. Winner, Moyer. Loser, Nolan Ryan. Philadelphia shut out San Diego. The hapless Padres having a lot of problems. Jones the loser, Carmen the winner. It was Atlanta over Pittsburgh 10-8. That was at Three Rivers. And Montreal leading Los Angeles 9-3. That's after 6 up in Canada. Also, St. Louis beat Cincinnati 6-5 at Busch Stadium in Missouri.
And Ward takes this one deep to right field, way back. Goodbye. First pitch, home run. Yankees put 1 on the board. We get a 4-2 count.
Oh, Lordy. Well, Gary, I'll tell you, he has been so consistent. Mercy. He was trying to do that last time up. A couple of guys on the base paths when he went out to Kingery in right field. This time he didn't miss it. There's a fastball right there just on the outer half. And he gets it.
And last time there were 2 men aboard when he hit the ball to Kingery in right field. So the solo shot makes it a 4-2 lead in favor of Seattle. And Mike Pagliarulo steps in. He bounced out to Reynolds at second in his first at bat. Pag's now 0 for his last 11. On the outside corner, strike one.
Pags will tell you that's very debatable.
1-1. Tomorrow afternoon here in Seattle, Joe Niekro against Mike Moore, and then it'll be Tommy John, Dennis Rasmussen, and Charles Hudson Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Oakland. And on Monday, the Yanks will be up against Kurt Young, who was off to some flying start for the A's, 5-1.
He's pitched well.
Strike 3 swinging. Fastball, Pags goes down.
Bankhead just reached back and got an extra foot right there. That's the best heater he's thrown. His flat got it by him.
Number 3 for Bankhead, and there's one man out here in the top of the 4th. Wayne Tollison. Single to left in his first at bat. Seattle 4 runs, 4 hits. The Yankees 2 runs on 5 base hits. That's out of play. 1-1. And a souvenir.
That's the exact expression I used to have on my face when I made the catch. Souvenir.
Out on the field?
Yeah, out on the field.
Look what I got. Stump Merrill will return the ball with Scott Bankhead.
Boy, Dick Williams couldn't stand that. I used to drive him crazy with that one-handed catch out there in right field on Fenway. Just drive him up a wall. There's Richard.
It's become the norm now.
Yeah.
Everybody catching the ball with one hand.
But as I said earlier, you know, if you had hands as bad as mine, then one hand's better than 2. Getting close to that horse eye.
Come on, you weren't Dick Stewart. Come on.
No. I was a couple of notches above Richard.
Got him on the outside corner. Strike 3 call. Tollison doesn't think so, and has some words for Jim McCann. And it is not very often a tally.
Well, Bradley's just setting up out there, and Bankhead, as we mentioned, he's consistent and persistent. Now watch, you see where Bradley's setting up. Tolly had a beef, but still it's close, and Jim McKean just rings him up. But if a guy is persistent out there and he's going to stay down, and he lets that umpire settle into that comfortable position mentally, then anything an inch or 2 off the plate he's going to get.
And you got to start hacking at it. Strike 1, good slider.
Well, 2 strikes you do. First of all, Tally hits that ball, it's going to be foul over in the Mariner dugout or over at one of the 2.
At the outside corner again, 0-2.
2 good breaking pitches from Bankhead. And that's what happened. Skinner struggling like a son of a gun up there. He hits the corner with 2.
1-2, missing on the fastball. Yankees down 4-2 here in the top of the 4th. Gary Ward leading off the frame with a home run. Did he go around? No, says first base umpire John Chulak. Missed low again, 3-2. Bankhead has struck out 4, his season high 8 in a game that he beat Oakland by a score of 8-1, a complete game performance. This one is whacked deep to left field. We'll say goodbye to this one. Joel Skinner smacks one into the lower deck of the left field stand for a second home run, and it's now 4-3.
That one didn't take long to leave the yard. After getting him 0-2, works the count full 3-2. We mentioned earlier, the count's going to determine Bankhead's success or demise out there this evening. And with a 2-run lead at the time, decides he's going to throw the strike. Second fastball he's got up this inning. There it is, belt high, and Skins just hurt it. That's just a wicked line drive way back up in there.
And when you look at Bankhead's record of 5-2, he has given up too many of the long balls. That's number 11 he has given up now in less than 49 innings of pitching.
Well, he's going to throw a lot. He has good control. Anybody who has good control is going to throw a lot of home runs. That goes with the territory.
That's the breaking ball in. 0-2 to Henderson.
Slur for a strike, curveball for a strike. A few times this year, Ricky has, I'd say he has really done a good job in calming down at the plate. He used to be the worst in the league at that. You couldn't throw him a strike.
And the umpires got on Ricky quite a bit. And you're not going to get a break from them if you keep turning around and hassling them.
Let me tell you something. Those umpires had it out for Henderson. I mean, they'll force you into conforming. They'll open that plate up where it's 25 inches wide.
2-2 to Ricky, who doubled in his first at bat, stole a base, his 22nd straight this season, and scored the Yankees' first run, his 36th run of the season, which was tops in the American League. Just missed 3-2. So just like with Skinner, he gets ahead and now runs the count full. Ball 4. Dick Williams taking notes. Second walk given up by Bankhead.
Well, he just doesn't like the idea, as you mentioned, 0-2 to the last two hitters. One of them takes you deep on a 3-2 pitch. He walks the other on a 3-2 pitch. And there's where experience comes into play, especially with young pitchers. Some young pitchers have the knack of getting ahead in the count and putting guys away. Other guys have the knack of getting ahead, but they just cannot put anybody away.
Saw Jerry Reed getting up in the bullpen. So Henderson on at first, representing the tying run, and Randolph at the plate. And they're pitching out. Boy, he can just disrupt the ball club. People talk about the length of baseball games sometimes being a little too long. When Henderson gets on base 4 times a game, the game lasts 15 minutes longer. For that reason, right there.
I'll tell you what, if you were out on that hill, it'd be 15 and 20 with you, too.
That's right. There goes Ricky. Oh, he's got it, and the ball's in center field, and Henderson up quickly on his way to third. Does he make things happen? Stolen base in the error on Bradley.
There's a bad play by Scotty. That's his first error of the season, by the way. He's done a good job for the Mariners. But when Henderson's out there, this is a known factor that when Ricky gets a decent jump out there, especially off the right-hander, after he's got a pretty good lead, you're not going to throw him out. So to throw the ball into center field is a mental mistake. Scotty coming out of that gate back there just as quick as he could, as hard as he could, and he had no chance if he makes a perfect throw.
Ricky got a great jump. 3-0 now to Randolph.
But also the key being the fact, first ball pitch out. Now all of a sudden Bankhead's behind Randolph.
And he's been having trouble getting the ball over in this inning. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks. Dick Williams making a walk toward the mound. third one given up by Bankhead. Yankees trailed 4-3. Ward led off this inning with his 5th home run of the season. And Bankhead struck out Pagliarulo and Tollefson. But Skinner took a 3-2 pitch into the left field seats, and now back-to-back walks.
I've been at first base before when Dick Williams would come out after the same similar scenario had developed. And I've seen him look at that pitcher and just straight dead in the eye and say, "Are you afraid? Are you afraid? You got any guts out here? Are you afraid to throw a strike?" I mean, he can literally just undress you out on that mound. Now, I don't know if it's I'm sure he didn't go that hard on a young guy like Scott Bankhead, but a veteran.
Okay,
I've seen him standing right there, just call them gutless SOBs right on the mound.
But question, does he vary with the individual?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
It makes sense.
Oh, certainly.
Sometimes
I've seen him with Jimmy Lonborg out there, for an example, in big ball games. Go out there, and first thing he said, Jimmy says, "You going out tonight after the game?" Just to break the tension.
Well, here's Mattingly with an opportunity to get the Yankees back. Randolph leading from first, Henderson from third. Ball one. Mattingly 1 for 2, a single to left in the first inning, scored the Yankees' first run. Center field, a late jump by Moses, but he is there. Mattingly hit it hard, but the side retired. However, the Yankees put 2 runs on the board on the homers by Ward and Skinner. They leave a couple through 3.5. Seattle 4, the Yanks 3. Long ball time here in Seattle as the Yankees get back into it in the top of the 4th inning on home runs by Gary Ward and Joel Skinner to make it 4-3 Seattle.
Well, that was an interesting inning right there because Bankhead got a couple of pitches up, and both of them left the park. He got the fastball up, the first ball fastball to Ward, and he took it out of here, and then he got the 3-2 fastball up to Skinner. As we mentioned, Bankhead's got to keep the ball down. But still, overall, a little different. Big Mo has changed in this ball game right now. Here's Gary's home run. Look at it. There's a belt-top fastball. And you're going to see that goes to the opposite field. And that's his 5th of the year. Now Skinner's about the same height as you'll see right here, belt high. And that's just a rocket. That ball got out of here in a big hurry. About halfway back up in those bleachers, as you can see.
So the Yankees now within 1. And Rick Rhoden, who has settled down after giving up the 4 runs on 4 hits in the first inning, throws ball 1 to Alvin Davis. He has now retired 7 in a row, has Rhoden.
Well, this could be the biggest inning of the ball game for Rick right here. Because we mentioned Big Mo definitely has swung back over. And they put 2 on the board. He can shut them down here. Then it'll just be maintained.
Two and 1.
That's pretty good 2-0 fastball right on the outside edge.
Davis walked in his first at bat. The only base on balls given up by Rick Rhoden. Popped up. Pagliarulo coming over. May have a play. And he makes it. You're not going to get any help from the home folks here in Seattle.
Well, if that guy comes out just a little bit further, it's going to be interference. A lot of foul territory here at the Kingdome. See a fan trying to make the play there. If he touches it, Davis is out anyway.
So 1 man away. And Mike Kingery, who rocked a double up the power alley in left center field in his first at bat in that first inning to score the Mariners' 4th run since then. Rhoden has been perfect. He has retired 8 in a row. This could be a tough play, but Rhoden gets there and makes it easy for the second out.
Boy, he just rode that one right on the fist of Kingery. Good pitch. Trying to hit it with his elbow.
He got over there quickly, Roden.
Well, Roden's he's a good athlete. Very fine athlete.
So 2 men away. Mariners have not hit the ball out of the infield since the first inning. And a strike one to Ray Quinones.
We talked last night about one of the diminishing aspects defensively in the game of baseball has been from pitchers and fielding their position. There's another good fastball. Roden working smoothly now. Good rhythm, good tempo. But Roden, of course, played in the National League where you still got to go to the plate. And you still got to play the game a little bit. Plus, he's a veteran, 34 years old today.
He's got a piece of that breaking ball.
But you get some of those, I'll tell you what, you get some of these young pitchers. It's amazing to see some of these young pitchers come into the league. They absolutely know nothing about the baseball except how to throw it.
Well, I think it goes back to what we were talking about, the old 16-team league. You've got a lot of guys coming up now who don't have the experience. They don't work in the minor leagues. You've got to fill those spots in the rosters with the teams that you have in the big leagues. We were talking about that last night. If you just filled 16 teams right now with the players that are in the big leagues, 24-man rosters, wow.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an astounding aspect. There's going to be an easy inning for Roden. 1, 2, 3. That'll be the third one in a row. Nothing across for the Mariners. And going to the top of the fifth inning, Seattle leads at 4-3.
Well, the scoreboard tells you the story. 4 runs, 4 hits for Seattle, an error, 3-6-0 for the Yankees, getting back to what we were speaking of just before the break off.
Well, you're talking about the 26 teams versus 16, the way it used to be. And all it boils down to, the whole premise of the conversation last evening started about ex-ball players talking about how these guys today were not as good as they were, which is a bunch of BS. There's no question about it. There's a high pop-up into right center field. Kingery, for some reason, looking for help from Moses. Now he'll make the play, and 1 pitch, 1 out. But that's not the case, because if you take the 16-team league, what it would boil down to would be taking the top 9 players off these clubs. Top 9 players, including pitchers, off Toronto, Milwaukee, Kansas City, California, Seattle, Montreal, Houston, San Diego, and the New York Mets, and dispersing those guys 9 to each of the remaining 16 clubs. And I'll tell you, see baseball like you've never seen it before.
There's no doubt about it. Here's Pasqua. Ball 1. Because again, to get back to it, if baseball players aren't better today than they were 35 years ago, it would be the only sport in America in which there has not been improvement.
Well, Joe Rourke brought up a classic example, too, in the game of hockey. When they used to have the 6 teams, they had 6 goaltenders in the league. And you saw some awful pretty good low-scoring games, you know, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. And these kids today, I'm a big hockey fan. These kids today, they're bigger, stronger, faster.
Skate.
They can really skate. I'll tell you, they'll tear your behind up out there on that ice.
And they can shoot some slap shots, too, which they did back then.
But again, it is illogical to think that every other sport would have progressed and baseball would have digressed, so to speak, in the vein we're talking about, the progression of the athlete.
The basketball, the football. Count to Pasqua's 2-2. And it goes full.
That'd be something, though, taking top 9 players off all those clubs we mentioned. Boy, there's some pretty good ball players there.
Alvin Davis waves off Bankhead, and Pasqua's retired on the ground ball. So 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Yankees down a run, 4-3. Bankhead are out for a couple of homers in the 4th inning. Ward and Skinner. And then with 2 outs, he walks Henderson and Randolph, and Mattingly, it's a rope to center field, but right at John Moses.
Boy, he hit that ball hard. That could turn out to be the big out for Bankhead, because of the fact one of the biggest assets that Bankhead has is his poise out there. And we mentioned he's a good competitor. And if that ball gets in the gap, first of all, he's gone. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Or if he's not, then he becomes a little disheveled.
1-0 to Gary Ward. The shortstop, Quinones. So Bankett settles down here in the top of the 5th inning after a rocky 4th. Gets the Yankees 1-2-3 halfway home through 4.5, 4-3 Mariners. We played 4.5 innings here in Seattle, and it's a good one thus far. 4-3 in favor of the Mariners. Rick Rhoden, who was rocked in that first inning for 4 runs on 4 base hits, has now settled down to retire 10 straight. And he will face Harold Reynolds, John Moses, and Phil Bradley here in the bottom of the 5th inning. What a difference between Rhoden's first inning and since that point for the Yankee right-hander.
Well, we mentioned that he sat down in that, or sat in that dugout for a while as the Yankees. Bankett threw a lot of pitches in the first inning when he gave up the 1 run on the 3 base hits. Stranded a couple of guys, and it just, when Rhoden went out there, it looked like he was just not loose. It's that simple. So the reason some clubs will make the guys stay down in that bullpen in case there is a long half. That way he can throw some more pitches and stay loose.
Ball 1 to Reynolds, who shortened up the bunt, and he can bunt. He is a good one. He bounced to short in his first at bat. But you could tell when Rhoden came out there, he wasn't working that change. Fouled away. And when he's got that change working like he did 2 games ago against Chicago, combined with the breaking ball and that fastball, that's the Rick Rhoden who won 15 games last year for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, the big thing is he's just got to change speeds, whether it be the change, whether it be the curveball, whether it be the slider. But he's got to show those guys he can get one of those breaking pitches over,
which he has done since the 2nd inning on. It is now 3-1.
And then, of course, the degree of his success is going to be to the degree of if he gets the curveball and the slider, and then the curveball or the change, or all 3.
Willie Randolph at second base. So Reynolds is retired, and there's 1 man out. Checking back on my scorecard. Since that first inning, he walked Davis in a 3-1 pitch. Since that point, he has not gone to 3 balls in anybody. And here's John Moses, center fielder. Gladell Washington drifting back. And there are 2 men away. First ball hit out of the infield since Mike Kingery doubled back in the first inning. And that is really what you call settling down.
Unfortunately, at times you can lose a game in the first inning as well as you can in the 9th.
Phil Bradley is 0 for 2. 0 for 7 in the series. He struck out 3 times, twice last night. And really fighting it. Bradley's average down to 168. We're talking about an established 300 hitter here. 3 consecutive years. 2-0.
One of the most impressive things about Bradley over the past couple of seasons has been the movement of his head, which was virtually non-existent. And his head has been bobbing and weaving up there in these 2 games that we've seen. And it's easy to see how he's not following the ball real well. In fact, Mattingly had the same problem there. We were talking about that last week. When he was taking a pitch, he was taking it, and his head was going down. You've got to keep a quiet head up there, and that'll work like a gyroscope. It'll swivel. But as far as going front, back, up, or down, the less of that movement you can have, the better off you are. That's the only way you can take something off a guy's fastball, is by keeping your head still and watching it all the way. At that point, you become a 60-foot hitter on that particular pitch.
3-1 pitch, foul away.
The last couple of years, Bradley's been about a 57, 58-foot hitter. That's one reason he's had good success. Now, from what we've seen the last 2 days, he looks like he's about a 53, 54-foot hitter. And it's just common sense. If you see the ball longer, you're going to hit a lot more.
You got it, son. The baseball. 3-2. 2 men out. Bottom of the 5th. 4-3 Mariners. And Thomason at shortstop. And yet another 1-2-3 inning for Rick Rhoden, who is now retired 13 in a row through 5. It's the Mariners 4, the Yankees 3.
Well, we were talking about the movement on Phil Bradley's head. Now let's just watch him right here in this last at bat. Now mark his head back there on in the dugout somewhere. There's a little line back there. Now watch the movement of his head as he gets ready to take the pitch. You see, now what he's doing right now is all right. That's just getting a little cocking action going. But watch his head now as he commits to the pitch. How far it moves and down. Down is the key there. Now we don't have anything to document it against last year, but last year you can just bet your sweet Bippy that head would not have moved half that distance. And that's when guys are seeing the ball well. Consequently, you see it well, you hit it well.
And he is not seeing it and not hitting it well. And here's Pagliarulo, who hits one high and deep to left center field. Phil Bradley will make the count, and there's one man away.
One of the greatest guys in the world to talk about the action of the head is Ted Williams. And of course he is a big proponent of from the feet to the waist, but also the head. And they used to, what they did, his head was so quiet at the plate, they used to box his head in. And his head would leave the box going forward, never going down, but leave the box going forward. And then as he, but the key was, as Tolleson takes a fastball strike on the outside corner, as he started his swing, his head rotated right back into the box. So his head, in essence, was in the same position or a little behind when he made contact.
You're talking about Superman.
No, I'm just talking about, that was a good example of head movement. You'll see a lot of guys. Kaline was the same way. Yastrzemski, when they box their heads in, all good hitters, when they make contact, not all, most of the good hitters, their head is behind. That's what you call getting behind the ball. You've got to get behind the ball to drive it hard. I'm not talking about your little ping hitters or line drive type hitters, because a lot of times their head will move forward and stay there because they're not trying to drive the ball. They're just trying to make contact.
1-2 now to Wayne Tolleson.
We'll do that. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll get that box. When we get back home, we will box him Mattingly's head.
Okay.
And we'll do it when he goes 0 for 4. As there's a routine play for Jimmy Preston. Long peg over to first base.
Somebody just joined us and just picked up the first line. You just said, we get back home, we're going to box in Mattingly's head. We're not speaking about that in the literal sense.
Well, we're talking about putting a graphic on the screen, which we can do. And we'll take that and use that as an example to show you when he goes 0 for 4. Now, I'm not talking about with bad swings, because you can go 0 for 4 and hit the ball well. But when he's had 4 batted bats or 3 batted bats versus when he gets the good line drive. And it's amazing the difference you'll see in the hit action.
Joel Skinner taking the ball. Skinner rocked a 3-2 fastball way back into the left field seats in his last at bat to make it a 4-3 count. And that's the way we stand right now. And the count goes 2-0. That home run was the last base hit the Yankees had up until this point, as Bankhead, after walking Henderson and Randolph, is now retired 6 in a row. Hits the bag. Presley. Now Skinner doesn't have good speed. He got it.
No, he didn't. He called him out, but he was safe.
And Skinner's upset, and Piniella and Stump Merrill are irate.
Boy, there's a bad luck. When you're struggling, there's a rocket that he hit off the third base bag, high in the air. Presley makes it. Now let's take another look at it.
Should have been a 2-base hit.
That's the first thing. Should have been down in the corner for at least a double. Here it is. This is just a fastball rocket right there by Skinner. Now watch Presley. It'll just carry him right up and come down to him. Now let's just watch the throw. You can clearly see that he beat it easily.
No doubt about it. So we're going to take a break as Joel Skinner upset, but we have played 5.5. It's 4-3 Seattle.
Well, Joel, that man loves you, but he's not going to help you this time, big guy. I'll tell you. Here's another shot of the line drive by Skinner. As you can see, he thinks it's a double. Doesn't get a real good jump out of the box. Ball bounces up in the air, but Skins, in fact, as we mentioned, he flat beat the play. And the first base umpire, Johnny Shulock, just flat missed it.
No doubt about it.
Shulock's a good umpire, though. Look at Skins. That's hard on the kneecaps.
Help. Roden's first pitch to Scott Bradley is fouled away. Yankees still trailing 4-3. Bradley singled home a run in the first inning and then lined to Pau Giroulo at third. Hitting now at .369. 2-1. Roden has retired 13 in a row since that rough first inning in which the Mariners came up with 4 runs on 4 hits. And the count 2-2. Remember, Robin Roberts used to pitch a lot of ball games like this. Give up 2 or 3 early. And if you didn't get 4 or 5 early, you're going to lose.
All good pitchers throw a lot of home runs.
Willie Randolph gliding over and making the play for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
There's a good pitch by Roden. Just got deep inside on Bradley. But, you know, you're talking about getting guys early. There are a lot of guys over their careers you had to get. I'll tell you one that wore a Yankee uniform. One of the best I ever saw at that as you look at the play again. And the pitch by Roden. Good pitch. Mel Stottlemyre. If you didn't get Mel early, boy, I'll tell you, it was Katie bar the door. He had you.
Well, this gentleman, the difference in this ball game, a 2-run home run in the first inning. His 11th of the season. And bounced to second in the 3rd.
I'll tell you, Mel Stottlemyre was one of the best competitors I ever had the pleasure and privilege of playing against.
This one is going to be for extra bases. Henderson over. And Phelps will be in with a stand-up double. So that stacks the streak of 14 in a row for Rick Roden.
Phelps has been hitting .370 in his last 14 ball games. A home run, and this is 3rd double of the year down into the corner. But there where you can see that was not a bad pitch by Roden. That's just a tip of the cap to Mr. Phelps.
He just dipped down and went after it.
He just went out with it. Doesn't try to get greedy. And if he tries to pull the ball, a little ground ball to Willie at second.
So Phelps in scoring position as Jim Presley steps in. 4-3 Seattle, bottom of the 6th.
Boy, it's nice to hear these fans in Seattle.
Here comes the wave.
I think it's probably the 2nd largest crowd I've ever seen here since they have come into the league.
This is trouble. Phelps on a hold at second, and he will move over to 3rd as he thought Claudell Washington might have had an opportunity at it. But back-to-back base hits. Phelps a double, Presley a single, and the Mariners with runners at the corners and only 1 man out.
Well, there's just a case right there of the runner. The most important thing the runner has to do is 2 things when he's out on the base pass. First of all, know the score, know the situation. The next thing is check your outfielders. And as deep as Claudell was playing in that spot right there, I think it's fairly obvious Phelps did not check the outfielders because there was just a little duck snort. You see Phelps right there. That's off the end of the bat. The hitter knows that ball is not going to be deep. You can see a ball fell 40 feet in front of Claudell.
Lou Piniella making his way out to the mound. Mariners now at 6 base hits. And here comes the wave again. It's going to be below us in just a moment. You'll be able to tell. They're having a good time here. They had 38,000 opening day here in Seattle.
Hey, I think they got at least that many tonight.
Pat Clements up in the pen again for the Yankees.
That could be a very big play right there if Rodon can pitch his way out of this jam. But Phelps not scoring on that one.
Got a couple of left-handed hitters to face, and they are good hitters. Alvin Davis and Mike Kingery. Yankees will keep the infield at double play depth. Davis 0 for 1 with a walk. And there's a run as Phelps will score. And Presley will hold at second. 3 straight base hits for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 6th, and they lead it 5-3.
There's a fastball away. Davis last night got a couple of fastballs away. Went to left center for a couple of base hits. There, he just goes right with it again. Money in the bank for him as Piniella comes out. And the hook, there it is, you see. And the hook for Rick Rodon.
Strange ball game for Rodon. Had the tough first inning and then was sailing along perfectly. Coming into the 6th inning, he had retired 13 in a row, got the first out easily. Then Phelps doubles to left. Presley loops one in a short center field for a base hit, and Alvin Davis now with the RBI single, and that'll be it for Rodon.
Well, first inning certainly appeared he was not loose. He got stung for a 4 spot in a hurry, and as Spencer mentioned, settled down, did a good job. Was a Rick Rodon that you'd like to see out on the hill. And then here, Phelps, that leadoff double, well, he just hit a good pitch. Presley, not a bad pitch by Rodon. And then Davis got the fastball out over the plate on the outside part. He just went right with it. But fans, a reminder that Monday and Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. the Yankees continue the road trip against the Oakland A's at the Coliseum. So don't miss the action. That's Monday at 10:30 on Sports Channel Plus and Tuesday at 10:30 on Sports Channel.
So the left-hander Pat Clements comes into the ball game. Clements making his 11th appearance of the year, a record of 1-0. He's pitched only 7 1/3 innings, given up 7 hits, 6 earned runs. He has walked 9. He has struck out 5. Fired from the Pittsburgh Pirates. His last appearance, he went an inning against Texas in the final game of that series. So the left-hander Pat Clements will pitch to Mike Kingery.
Christensen.
Oh, they're going to bring Christensen out as a pinch hitter. Christensen appeared as a pinch hitter in last night's ball game for Kingery in the 8th inning, and he bounced into a force play. Mariners lead it by a score of 5-3. And John Christensen hitting for Kingery, who was 1 for 2 with an RBI double back in the 1st inning.
Christensen 10 for 35, 286, no homers, and he's knocked in 6.
Popped him up in the first pitch. Infield fly rule is called as Tolleson makes the catch for the 2nd out. Rick Rodon going 5 1/3 innings, giving up 7 hits, 5 runs, and responsible for the 2 men on base, walking 1, striking out 2.
You know, Pat Clements has really struggled since coming over in that trade from Pittsburgh. I got a feeling, something just watching him the last couple of times out, I got a feeling that he's getting ready to turn the corner. We'll see, but it's just a gut feeling, that's all.
Well, his last 3 times out, he has not given up
Well, that's immaterial anyway. A lot of times guys can go out there and throw the ball well and, you know, and make a few mistakes and get hit. But it's just something that you see guys like we talked about Cerrone. Watching him, you just get a good feeling that he was going to start swinging the bat a little bit, and he did. But it certainly would not hurt matters for Clemens and the club if he turned it around.
Ball one to Quinones, who's 0 for 2. Struck out, bounced to second. Yankees down 5-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Two and up. Yankees liked what they saw from Clemens a couple of years ago when he was with the California Angels. Got the inside corner for strike. 2-1. With one man out here in the 6th inning, a double by Phelps, back-to-back singles by Presley and Davis. And it's 5-3. That's Presley at second. Davis on at first with 2 men out.
Oh, Lord.
Got away with something.
Yes, he got away with a big mistake right there. Quinones right on it.
Count 2-2. Center field. Washington keeps the ball in front of it, but Presley will score. Davis is rounding third, and Randolph a little late with the throw, but they got him anyway. For some reason, Alvin Davis thought he could score, and he surprised everybody, including Willie Randolph.
Well, Ozzie Virgil was waving him on around, and he almost got away with it. Davis does not run well. Now here's a rocket. Now, this ball is scorched. Claudell's going to come in, try to make the grab. But Davis now continuing on, and Willie, nobody was giving Willie any kind of help with the crowd noise. He couldn't have heard anyway. All of a sudden now he glances up, and it's academic with any kind of a decent throw. But the Mariners come up with a couple of runs, and after 6, they lead the Yankees 6-3.
We're going to the top of the 7th inning here in Seattle. Big 2 runs for the Mariners in the bottom half of the 6th. They have now doubled the score in the Yankees, 6-3. As we approach midnight back in New York. Sunday morning nearly upon you, and Rickey Henderson leading it off. Takes a strike. Henderson doubled in the first, scored a run, stole a base, fly to right, then walked, stole another base. Henderson now with 23 this year, 31 in a row, and it is 2 off the American, 1 off the American League record of 32. One ball, 2 strikes. Big 2 runs for the Mariners in the bottom of the 6th. Straight back. Willie Wilson and Julio Cruz hold the record of 32. Not sure what the number is, but I'm pretty sure Davey Lopes holds the major league record for consecutive steals.
For some reason, 37 rings a bell.
Right center field and deep. And it is off the wall, played neatly by Moses, but of course no chance to get Henderson. It was in with a stand-up double. John Christensen staying in the ball game in right field.
Look at this pitch. Outside, Henderson just goes with it. That'll give you a well-documented graphic example right there of just how strong he is. With a count 1-2, I'll tell you, that is one heck of a pitch by Bankhead to have hit for a double.
Ricky could have been one heck of a running back. Ricky could have been anything he wanted to be in Atlanta.
Me, I'll tell you what, so far, by far, in this season, he's been the most impressive player that I've seen in a long time.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he is playing like he played 2 seasons ago when he first joined the Yankees.
Well, when you don't see a guy every day, though, there's a difference. You see a guy maybe 12 times, 13 times a year. When you see a guy every day, day in and day out, and have him impress you like he has done this season, that doesn't come along very often.
Back. We mentioned it once before, but going back 2 years ago, and Gene Michael was still with the Yankees. Stick's doing quite a job, by the way, with the Cubs. Got him in first place in the National League East. But Stick said, unequivocally, this is the greatest baseball player he's ever seen all around. And that covers a lot of territory. One ball, 2 strikes to Randall. And quite a heavy statement.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And he wouldn't back off from it either.
He's making a believer out of me.
Henderson was going, and the ball will drop in front of Moses. Ricky's going to come in and score.
Oh, me. Oh, me. I'll tell you. Goes down, stops at third base. Here he's got the base stolen once again. There's another good pitch, but the only thing was he got it just a little bit up. Just slapped into center field. Now, Ricky at that point had stopped. Moses still not going to try to get him as he just turns it on. And here is a look at him. There was a definite little stop in there. Look at him turn it on. Mercy.
So Henderson scores. We've got a 6-4 ball game, and Dick Williams doesn't waste any time. He goes right out to the mound, and that's going to be it for Scott Bankhead. Well, the Yankees have narrowed the gap now to 6-4. And we're going to see Wilkinson once again.
Saw him last night. Young man's got a good arm. In fact, talking to some of the Yankee hitters after the game, they were very impressed. Now, he's straight. Now, most left-handers have decent movement on a fastball. Wilkinson happens to be one of those guys who is straight, but still, he is sneaky. He gets it up there in a hurry. And he's only 22 years old. 5'10", 165 pounds. Up until this season, he had a brief cup of coffee with Seattle in '85, worked in 2 ball games, and last year spent the whole season in Calgary.
Last night he won an inning and a third. Did not give up a hit, but a run as he had a little control problem. 2 walks and a strikeout. So the Yankees will bring the tying run to the plate. Don Mattingly trailing in the ball game 6-4 as we play the top half of the 7th inning.
Well, you just had that feeling, as we talked about earlier in the game, that unless Bankhead turned it around, that he would be in some problems out there. And indeed he was. But still, that pitch that Henderson hit, Bankhead's going to have to go home and sleep on that one tonight. He's going to say, how in the world can that man hit that 1-2 fastball that's 2 inches outside off the right center field wall against me? 42,570.
Ooh. Best crowd of the year for the Mariners as Mattingly steps in. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the 1st inning. Check swing, and that one hits the bat. Presley's not going to throw anybody out of this one.
You know what? Mattingly did the same thing off Wilkinson last night for a double down the left field line, a check swinger. He's got this kid figured. He's got his code broke.
Well, earlier this year, we saw a ball game in which 2 home runs were hit off a foul pole. Nobody ever saw that before. How many times have you ever seen 2 balls hit off the third base bag in the same game?
Williams twice now has brought Wilkinson in to pitch to Mattingly. He's seen 2 pitches, 2 check swings, 1 double, 1 RBI, and a single.
So we're going to get a pinch hitter. Dave Winfield will come on to hit for Claudell Washington. With runners at first and second. Still nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Mariners leading it by a score of 6-4. Winfield last night 1 for 5 with an RBI and hitting at .304. Strike 1.
Well, big fella, why don't you just go ahead and unbutton that top button and take a good hack at it? In fact, unbutton the top 2.
Yankees with a run in here in the top of the 7th. Runners at first and second, still nobody out, down 6-4. 1-1.
I tell you, it's a funny game. It's a great game. Unbelievable. You see things, you watch so many baseball games. Fastball, good one by Wilkinson right on the outside corner. Good spot. Play the game all your life, you still continually see things you never see before.
Well, makes it a great game.
Oh, yeah.
And this is a fun one tonight. Yankees are down, though, 6-4, playing the top of the 7th. And count 1-2.
And it goes right hand in hand here. Skinner. Not that Don's been swinging about that well, but he's starting to come out of it now. But Skinner's struggling. He hits a rocket off that bag. He gets thrown out. Donnie gets the check swing, hits the bag. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Of course, that's our society.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Right field, hit hard. Christensen back. It'll slam off the wall. Randolph is being waved on in. And also being waved on in is Mattingly. And the throw to the plate, not in time, and the Yankees have tied the ball game at 6-6.
That's a patented Dave Winfield rocket. Fastball, the same one he took. That's hammered. Now watch Christensen get caught close to the wall, and that ball's hit so hard he just cannot handle it at this point, as he really is not busting his tail to get after it either. Ferraro sees it, sends Mattingly long. Even with a good throw, they're not going to get him. And that'll tie it up. 2 big ribbies for Winfield. And you see the exuberance right there, number 23.
So the Yankees coming from behind with 3 runs here on the top of the 7th to tie this ball game at 6-6. And Dave Winfield in a pinch hitting role delivery. And boy, I'll tell you, he is hitting the ball to right field more than he has done in the last couple 3 seasons. In fact, years ago, Winfield would go to the opposite field. And we're going to get another pinch hitter right now. Henry Cotto will come on to pinch hit for Dan Pasqua. And as soon as he's announced, we may get another pitching change. They've got a right-hander up in the bullpen.
Boy, that was just a bullet off that wall. Tough play for Christensen, but as we mentioned, when you see that ball's going to be over your head and it's hit that hard, it's tough to counteract it, so to speak, and get back in good shape to take it off the wall, as Williams is going to come out and make the change right here. But boy, it sure didn't look like Johnny was trying to get to it too quick, and that enabled Mattingly to score.
He got caught in between, and then, as you said, he really didn't chase that ball down that quickly. And here comes Dick Williams. Yankees have tied it with 3 runs here in the 7th inning. Steve Shields is going to come on. He was the 3rd player in that deal for Tarnable. He's put together a couple of saves.
He's a big fella. 6'5", 230, 28 years old. Born in Gadsden, Alabama. Last year just had 3 appearances with Kansas City and a 2.08 ERA. Also with the Braves last season. Worked in 6 games. Didn't fare too well with them. So Shields, the 3rd Mariner pitcher, as Lupinella now has got himself a new ball game, tied at 6. Fans, a reminder that following this road trip, the Yankees return to the stadium for an 8-game homestand, which will begin on May 27th and 28th against the Seattle Mariners. The next homestand also features the Oakland Athletics and the California Angels. So get your tickets now. Tickets for all Yankee home games are available through Ticketmaster. So for more information or the Ticketmaster location nearest you, just dial 212-307-7171. That's 212-307-7171. If you're outside New York, call 1-800-682-8080. That's 1-800-682-8080.
The book closed now on Scott Banker. As he goes 6 innings plus, gives up 8 hits and 5 runs. Walks 3, strikes out 4. Winfield down at second base is Wilkinson's responsibility, as he's already been charged with a run.
Let's take another look right here at the line drive, the vicious line drive off that fastball. As we mentioned, Wilkinson is straight. You can see right there, just a dead straight fastball. Christensen gets caught right in the middle. And look at him right there, just ease up. He didn't think at that point Mattingly's going to try to get there. He does, and he scores easily. So the Mariners made some mistakes last night. The Yankees took advantage of them. There's another one right there they took advantage of. And that's the way you win ball games.
And here is Henry Cotto, who has been about twice since coming back from Columbus. 0 for 2. Fouls the first pitch away for a strike.
Saw Shields one time last year. Not overpowering. He's a slinger.
Spent 6 years in the Red Sox game.
Ooh, watch out.
They're calling it a foul ball. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. I thought for a second from up here it might have got him in the jaw. That's close. Henry, come on. The expression didn't show that much.
He didn't have time to get scared.
Woo!
So Shields ahead of him, 0-2. Strike 3. So Cotto goes down in a pinch hitting role. There's 1 man away. We're tied at 6 here in the 7th. Great story many years ago. Bob Lemon. Phil Rizzuto at the plate. Yankees put the squeeze on. 70,000 in the crowd in Cleveland. And Lemon knows the squeeze is coming, and he throws the ball right at Rizzuto's head. And Rizzuto just puts the bat up in front of his head and lays the bunt down. Winning run scores. Lemon just picks up the ball, throws it into the crowd. Scooter was one of the greatest bunters of all time. Here's Ward.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I happen to be in that school and have been for a long time and have talked to many people. To me, the idea that he is not in the Hall of Fame is just ridiculous. I mean, it really is. It's one of the travesties, I think, in the game. Here was a man who was a hell of a player.
I grew up in New York watching Scooter, watching Pee Wee, and there was a coin toss between those two. Pee Wee's in and Scooter's not, and it's an injustice. I think for many years, the ballots, at the time when Scooter was eligible from the writers, the votes were split between Scooter and Pee Wee. But now the Old Timers Committee is handling it, and I just can't figure it out.
I think there's a lot of jealousy involved in it. Meanwhile,
here's
David's trying to look how to steal third base right here. Reynolds did a good job with their last pitch.
And Ward rocks it to right field. Winfield got a late jump, and he is going to hold.
That's what we're getting ready to say. Interesting. Christensen control. And if he comes, he is dead meat at home plate.
But the Yankees with runners at first and third, and still only one man out.
Gary Ward, that's a good pitcher's pitch. He just goes right with it. Another nice piece of hitting. David had to hold up just a second to make sure that ball wasn't caught. Bradley looking around for somebody to tag. There you can see David made up his own mind right there.
And a good throw by Chris.
He has good instincts on the base paths.
Very rarely will Dave Winfield make a mistake running the bases. First and third, one man out, and Mike Pagliarulo at the plate. We're tied at 6. We're in the top of the 7th. The Yankees are for 3 on the board. Ball 1. Pags 0 for 3, bounced to second, struck out, fly to left.
Forget about the game. This is just a big at bat right here for Pags, the way he's been grinding mentally.
That's going to slice foul.
Ward was off and running. He had the base stolen. There wouldn't even been a throw down there by Bradley.
Pags upset with
Pags,
it.
well, he's had some good pitches to hit tonight. He's just blocking himself up with the hips. He's having to hit over that right hip, and that's hard to do. You better get that thing out of the way. It makes it a little bit easier.
Yankees with 5 base hits here in the 7th inning. Mariners put 2 on the board in the bottom of the 6th to make it a 6-3 count.
He's had, excuse me, Spence, but he's had 2 good fastballs to hit in the last 2 at bats, and he's done the same thing, trying to hit over that right hip. And at that point, it becomes a push. You got to pull that bat.
On the outside corner, Pags didn't think so. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And we were talking about coming out of the swing. Watch him now. Watch him get over that right hip. That's his lead hip. Of course, with a right-handed hitter, it'd be the left hip. Boy, when you start doing that, you come right out of that swing, and there was another good pitch hit right there.
Setting up outside. Gary Ward is running, no throw.
No, he had the same kind of lead, same kind of jumps he did last time.
So the Yanks keep running, keep stealing bases. That's their 3rd tonight. 2 for Henderson, 1 for Ward. 2nd and 3rd now. Eliminates the possibility of a double play, and the Mariners will bring the infield in. And here comes the throw to the plate, and Winfield scores, knocks the ball out of Bradley's hand. Ward's going to come on and score. Moving down to second is Pagliarulo, and the Yankees lead it by a score of 8-6.
There's a bad play by Alvin Davis. Davis, his rookie year, made some real good plays defensively. Now watch this. The infield in. There's the breaking ball from Shields. Now watch him how much time he takes right there. Then all of a sudden he laid back, let the ball come to him. If you're going to get Winfield, especially on that contact play, he was coming all the way. You got to come get that baseball. And there David just comes in, knocks the ball out of Bradley's hand. And Ward scores. A couple of mistakes again by the Mariners. The Yankees take advantage of it. Boy, Tally, go down and get it.
I've never seen that high five.
No, that's the first.
That's the lowest high five I've ever seen. They'll give an error to Bradley on that, enabling Pagliarulo to get down to second. And the Yankees now with 5 runs on the board here in the 7th to open up an 8-6 lead. Big stolen base. Ooh.
Yeah.
Gary Ward going down to second, taking away the double play possibility. And potentially that could have been a 3-6-3 double play. Davis will take it unassisted at first. With Pagliarulo moving over to third. In a wild top half of the 7th inning, it has lasted more than 20 minutes. And it has been a good one for the Yankees. Joel Skinner, who struck out, smacked his 2nd home run of the season, a towering blast into the left field seats, and then in a moment of strangeness, he hits a hard smash down the 3rd baseline. A rocket. It hits the bag, hops up into the air. Presley grabs it, throws to first base. The replay shows he was clearly safe, but called out at first base. And low for a ball. 2-0. Henderson started this off with a double. Randolph single to drive home one. Mattingly got a check swing base hit off the bag at third. And Winfield with a key pinch hit double to drive home two. And Ward with a base hit. And Pagliarulo on the fielder's choice 2-run score. And the count 3-0 now to Skinner. The 9th man in the batting order. You know who's on deck.
Well, here's a spot, though, ironically, that you might go ahead. I don't know if he went to. He didn't. But you might go ahead and give him a chance to go ahead and get a good fastball to hit. Because chances are, right there, Shields trying to make a good pitch on Skinner 3-0. When he's got Ricky Henderson on deck, it don't make a whole bunch of sense, does it?
Nick Williams, Billy Connors, the pitching coach, to the left of your screen. And Big Frank Howard. And here is Henderson. 2 for 3, a couple of doubles, a couple of stolen bases. Just a typical Ricky Henderson evening at the ball yard. Ball 1. Henderson, the 10th man to come to the plate for the Yankees. Skinner leading away from first. Pagliarulo from third. And rocked into right field, but right at Christensen. And the side is retired. But a big inning for the Yankees as they put 5 runs on the board on 5 base hits. There was a Seattle error. The Yankees lead 2, and now through 6.5, New York 8, Seattle 6.
Well, let's do the scoreboard. You want to do the scoreboard? Yankees on top 8-6 after scoring 5 times here in the top half of the 7th inning. Right now, while we have a break, let's give you some scores around the major leagues. First in the American League, it was Baltimore beating California 4-2. McGregor the winner with the loser. Oakland hurt Toronto 10-3. Key the loser. Moose Haas picking up his first victory of the 1987 season. He's 1-0. Haas the winner. Texas beat the White Sox 7-2 at Comiskey Park in Chicago. Mahorsic the winner. Wynn the loser. Boston and Walker home in that ball game. It was Detroit over Cleveland 5-3. That was at Tiger Stadium. The winner was Negro. Check it. The loser was Negro. The winner was Jack Morris. Kansas City shutting out Milwaukee in a big way, 13-0. The winner, Charlie Leibrandt. He's 5-2. Bill Wegman, the loser. He is 2-4. Kevin Seitzer, his second home run. And Boston beat Minnesota 6-1. That was at the Homer Dome up in Minneapolis. Roger Clemens now 3-3. The winner. Bert Blyleven now 3-3. The loser. In the National League, Giants beat the Mets 5-4. It was Chicago over Houston 2-1. Philadelphia shut out San Diego 9-0. Atlanta over Pittsburgh 10-8. Montreal took the measure of the Dodgers by a score of 10-3 up at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. The winner was Smith. Brent Smith 2-0. Welch the loser. He's 4-2. And the Cardinals once again beat the Cincinnati Reds 6-5. Soto the loser and Conroy the winner.
Well, a couple of defensive changes for the Yankees now as Henry Cotto stays in the ball game to play center field, and Dave Winfield Stays in the ball game out in right field. And yet another change as Cecilio Galante will come on and make his 15th appearance of the year. Pitched an inning and a third last night. Did not give up any hits. Walked one. And Cecilio with a record of 3-1 and an ERA of 3.27. And the first pitch, ball one to Harold Reynolds. Here's a case. Remember you were pointing out earlier that the big first inning the Yankees had, well, they only had one run, but it took a long time, and Roden was in the dugout. Well, Pat Clements was sitting in the dugout nearly a half hour. And here's Galante, fresh from warming up in the bullpen. And the count's 1-2.
Well, even if it's been a shorter time, I think you were going to see Galante in any case. Cecilio's been really doing a good, solid effort and good job out there.
Popped up short left field. Ricky Henderson. And there's one man away.
But again, it goes back to what we discussed last evening. The game of baseball is so difficult to win. And the trick is not going out there and beating other clubs. The first ingredient for success, first of all, obviously, is getting some good players. And then the art of winning in baseball is allowing other teams to beat themselves. When they make the mistakes, which they're going to do, there's a good fastball. When they make mistakes, you take advantage of them. And it's a state of mind, a philosophy. Whereas if you go out there every day and you got to try to beat somebody, it's awful tough to do. What you do is you allow them to beat themselves, and it happens quite often.
And the Mariners have made their share of mistakes. Pitch to Moses, a ball. Talking about how well Galante has pitched in his last 6 appearances, a total of 7 innings. He's given up 1 base hit and no runs.
He's been solid.
It's going to be a foul ball.
Yeah, as we've discussed before, there's an art to everything. In pitching, for an example, if a pitcher's got to take his good stuff and his good control out there to the mound all the time, he's not going to win a whole bunch. You've got to improvise. You've got to zig and zag. And the same thing on a club level. If you got to go out there and play good every day to win, you're not going to win your division.
That's going to go out of play. There are those days when you just aren't quite right, and the other club will make the mistakes. Just play fundamentally sound.
Exactly.
All
That's
the time.
key. Go back to the rudiments, the ABCs of baseball. Don't beat yourself. That's the first thing. Because if you make the fundamental plays, the other club's going to screw it up somewhere along that line.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Moses, who's 1 for 3 tonight with a stolen base and a run scored. That's fouled away. Strange ball game. Yankees got a run in the first. Mariners came back with 4 in the bottom half, led it 4-1. Homers in the 4th inning by Ward and Skinner made it 4-3. Mariners added 2 in the bottom of the 6th, 6-3, and 5 for the Yankees in the top of the 7th, 8-6. Full count.
Well, the way Lou has been using his players, that's a good sign. He's using everybody for the most part. And all of a sudden, when you can bring in a Dave Winfield to pinch hit in a big spot in the ball game, as there's a base hit. Again, John Moses swinging the bat better than we have seen him. He is short and compact up there and aggressive. But when you can bring in a Dave Winfield off that bench to face a left-handed pitcher, good chance you are liable to do some damage. As we look at Moses, that solid single to right. Yeah, short and sweet, that swing there.
And Winfield did a bunch of damage with a pinch hit 2-run double off the right field wall in that big top half of the 7th inning. Well, Phil Bradley, who continues to struggle, 0 for 3 tonight, hitting now at 167. Takes a strike. Bob Shirley up in the Yankee bullpen. Manuel knocks it down, but there'll be no play.
Well, that ball was hit like a shot, but it was still playable. Ball was first hit. I thought it was going to be the double play as Bradley nails it. There you You see Pags hitting that ground, just couldn't come up with it.
So the Mariners with runners at first and second. Only one man out. Scott Bradley and Ken Phelps, a pair of left-handed hitters coming to the plate.
Actually, that shot right there was a little deceiving because that ball, he was not on the ground. He had that ball when he was still on his feet.
Bradley 1 for 3. A single and an RBI. Takes ball 1. Well, you talk about, they say football is a game of momentum. This has been a momentous evening.
Back and forth.
Yeah. At the outside corner, strike 1, 1-1. Center field, Henry Cotto retreating. And he is there to make the grab. Tagging at second and going to third is Moses. And there are 2 men away. Henry playing a little bit shallow, and he got back there in a hurry.
You're seeing a lot more center fielders play shallow today. But that ball was hit hard. You see Henry, good jump. And he makes the heel of the glove catch on.
Ken Phelps is going to step in now. His 2-run home run in the first inning. The highlight of a 4-run frame. And then in the 6th inning, when the Mariners added 2, he, with 1 man out, doubled a left and came out to score a run. So it's been a big night for Phelps.
Well, he's becoming a good hitter. As Kenny is really settling in, as Pinella's going to come out. And he's not going to let Phelps go against the right-hander in this situation. But what happens, we hadn't made the sign yet. I would imagine he's not going to let him go against him. But the thing is that Phelps is becoming an offensive force in the American League. I mean, he's somebody that you got to sit down and you got to seriously consider now. Because of the fact you make a mistake from the middle end, he'll take you deep. He will go with a good pitch low and away like he did with that double. And he's just self-taught, so to speak. He has made himself into a good hitter.
Home plate umpire Jim McKeon trying to hurry things up. Shirley gets warm in a hurry.
He's going to stay with it.
Staying with Cecilia.
He did it in Yankee Stadium. In that last series there, when Guante walked the first 2 guys, he messed up a bunt, had the bases loaded, nobody out, and then he promptly struck out the side. So Pinella showing a lot of confidence right here in Guante, which Cecilio needs.
Well, here is Phelps against Galante, with runners at first and third and 2 men out. Yankees lead 8-6, and he strikes it deep to right field. Say goodbye to this one. A 3-run home run for Ken Phelps. And here is Jim Presley taking ball 1 as this crowd is still a-buzzing. Number 12 for Phelps. He now leads the American League.
As I said, he's made himself into a force. There's no question about it. He's not one of those guys that you can just go, oh, he just missed that one, a hanger. But there was a mistake by Guante to Phelps, got the fastball middle in, and Kenny didn't miss it. He just muscled that ball out of here.
His second home run of the night, and a big one indeed.
Here it is. See the location. Middle, right down the middle. About thigh high. Put it on the board. Line shot.
And we've got a 9-8 ball game. 12 home runs in 94 at-bats for Ken Phelps. Swinging strike, 1-2. We know it's late back home, 12:30 in the morning. But if you stay with us this long, don't go away. We've got a wild one here at the Kingdom. 9-8 in favor of the Mariners, bottom of the 7th. 2-2.
Well, the one thing that you want to do playing the Mariners is get into the pen, and the Yankees are into the pen. There's no question about it. As long as you're in their bullpen, you got a chance to do some damage.
Center field, it is deep. Pato back, looks up, goodbye. Just didn't work out.
No, Cecilio has done a good, solid job out there. But if he were in that spot where he could get it done every time, he's making about $1.5 million. He's not up there yet, so he'll have his bad days. But right there, I'm sure he's kicking himself in the behind for the Phelps situation. But it happens. He has been doing the job, and this time it just backfired. I'll tell you, that home run Presley right there. He just made a nice little short, easy swing, and that ball went about 425 feet. Let's take another look at it. Just watch the swing of Presley. Short and quick. And look where this ball lands. There's the 410 sign. Cotto got no chance. He goes, and there's quite a bit of distance between there and you see the drape, the curtain in the back, and he hits the curtain. It might have gone more than 425 feet.
And for Jim Presley, his 7th home run of the season. His second one of this series. And Lou Piniella brought Bob Shirley in for the bullpen. Back and forth. Talk about a seesaw. This ball game, 4-1 Seattle, 4-3 Seattle, 6-3 Seattle, then 8-6 Yankees, and now 10-8 Mariners. Bob Shirley comes on to make his 6th appearance of the year.
Hey, I might see about getting me a couple of dozen of those balls myself. I might just put those down instead of the Titleist I'm using. Man, is that thing hot.
They are traveling. Home runs up quite a bit this year.
I'll tell you what, I don't see any stopping it either.
Here's Alvin Davis. 1 for 2, an RBI single in his last at bat.
But as we talked about, I think it's great. It just adds a lot of excitement.
Strike 1 from Shirley. Well, you cannot have asked for a more exciting ball game than the one we're getting here tonight. This is exciting. I love pitchers duels, but every once in a while, this is fun. And the count goes 0-2. And each team with 2 more at-bats. We're 1-2 to Davis.
Well, the best thing about the hot baseball is one thing, though. if you throw strikes, you spot your pitches, you're still going to keep the ball in the yard. But when you make the mistakes, I'll tell you, they're just flying out of here.
Mariners with 3 home runs tonight. Yankees have smacked 2. Ward and Skinner. Phelps has hit 2 for 5 RBIs for Seattle. And Presley with a solo shot. The breaking ball is stroked to right field. Winfield comes over, makes the catch. The side is retired, but not before Seattle puts 4 more on the board on 4 base hits. Phelps and Presley with home runs. And now through 7 innings. Mariners 10, Yankees 8.
Close to something.
Well, you ready for more? We've got it for you. We're going to the 8th inning. Seattle 10 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors. The Yankees 8 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. And we go to the 8th inning of Willie Randolph. Will lead it off against Steve Shields. Willie 1 for 3, scored a run, drove home 1, and a base on balls. And he takes the strike. Outside ball 1, 1-1. Crowd has gotten quiet, but they're having fun here tonight.
Oh boy, there's some electricity in there. There has been all evening.
42,570 on hand. Ball 2, 2-1.
Key right here against Steve Shields is just don't help him out. As we mentioned, he's not overpowering. But make him throw strikes. You make him throw strikes, and you're going to get him.
Shields came on in that big 7th inning after striking out Cano. Ward singled. Stole second with runners at second and third. Pagliarulo, a little bouncer to first base. And Alvin Davis tried to come home with a throw. Winfield knocked the ball out of Bradley's glove. And 2 runs scored in that play. Got a new catcher in the ballgame now, Bob Kearney, for the Mariners.
I'll tell you what, that'll negate a little bit of the running because Kearney can throw you out.
Presley, nice stab. The pivot and the throw. That's big out there with Mattingly coming to the plate. Mattingly 2 for 4, a couple of singles and an RBI. Takes a strike. Left field. Phil Bradley's there. 2 men are out. It's getting through the tough part of this Yankee batting order. Dave Winfield, who came out as a pinch hitter in that 7th inning and rocked the double off the right field wall to score 2 runs. In a wild ball game. 2 men out, top of the 8th, 10-8 Mariners. About a 45-minute 7th inning. Down low for a ball, 2-0. It's like a cricket game. They last for days.
There's some thunder going on.
Fastball and a 2-0 pitch. 2-1 now to Winfield. Off the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good breaking ball by Shields. When I say good, he stayed on it, even though it was a good pitch to hit for Winfield. At least he had some bite on it. Wasn't a hanger.
And the count's 2-2. Left field. Bradley is there. Sides retired. A 1-2-3 inning for Steve Shields through 7.5. Seattle holding on to a 2-run lead at 10-8. Well, there's the man of the hour, Ken Phelps. A couple of home runs tonight for 5 RBIs. A big 3-run blast off Cecilio Duarte in the bottom of the 7th inning to put Seattle in front 9-8. Jim Presley followed with a home run of his own. And we stand at 10-8. There's the 2 of them. Bob Shirley came on to get Alvin Davis for the final out in that 7th inning. Will face John Christensen, Ray Quinones, and Harold Reynolds. Strike 1. Looking ahead to the 9th inning. Cotto, Ward, and Pagliarulo for the Yankees. There's a strike. Yankees have only 3 players remaining. Kittle is one. Cerrone. And Lenny Sakala, who's hurting a bit. Strike 3. This is Ray Quinones, the shortstop. Takes a ball. Quinones, 1 for 3. One and one. This crowd just can't stop buzzing. Base up. Thirteen for the ball game for the Mariners. Second for Quinones. And the first one given up by Bob Shirley. Harold Reynolds 0 for 3 tonight. He's the only man in the Mariner lineup without a base hit. Strike 1. Quinones really not much of a threat to go. Shirley keeping him close. One and one. It's a 9-inning ball game, and on a couple of occasions tonight, both sides kind of have the feeling and the impression that it was going their way. Runner was going on the pitch, and it's Luke Fowl. 1-2. Mariners led early, 4-1, then 4-3, then 6-3 before the Yankees put 5 on the board in the 7th for an 8-6 lead. But Seattle came back with 4 of their own. 10-8 Mariners. Two and two. Bob Shirley, the 4th Yankee pitcher of the night. Rick Rhoden struggled through the 1st inning, gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, and then put together a streak of retiring 14 in a row. And in trouble in the 6th inning, and the Mariners put 2 more on the board. Pat Clemens came on at 2/3 of an inning. Cecilio Galante, 2/3 of an inning, gives up 4 runs on 4 hits, the 3-run homer to Phelps, and a solo by Presley. Ricky Henderson, and Cano cuts in front of him to make the catch. So 2 men are out. With 1 out in the 7th inning, this gentleman stepped to the plate. John Moses, batting left-handed, and he got it started on a 3-2 pitch. Whacked a single to right field. Bradley followed with an infield hit. After Scott Bradley fly deep to center, it was Ken Phelps' turn for the 3-run homer. Strike 1. Moses 2 for 4. He scored a couple of runs and stolen a base. Ozzie Virgil broke in with the old New York Giants as a shortstop.
Home plate umpire Jim McKean giving a long, hard look down at Ozzie. I don't like for those guys to look at the ball and throw it out. It's impugning their selection.
1-2.
There's Jimmy.
Counts even. Deuces across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a 2-run ball game. 10-8 Seattle. Bottom of the 8th inning. And Young's leading from first. Short center field. Henry Cotto is there. The side is retired. Will go to the top of the 9th inning. Henry Cotto, Gary Ward, Mike Pagliarulo, the last hopes for the Yankees against Steve Shields, with Seattle leading 10-8.
Fans, a reminder that Monday at 7:30 the Mets take on the San Diego Padres at Shea Stadium with a pregame show at 7:15. That's the Mets and Padres Monday at 7:30 only on Sports Channel, the official channel of the New York Fan.
Spencer Ross, Hawk Harrelson. Lou Piniella looking on. His team down by 2 runs as we go to the 9th inning. And right-hander Steve Shields will work to Henry Cotto. Shields spent some time on the disabled list this year. This only his 4th appearance of the year. He's pitched 2 innings, given up 1 hit. And right now, he is the pitcher of record on the positive side. Hard smash, gloved by Quinones. And there's 1 man out. Cotto hit it hard. So Shields gets the first man here in the 9th inning. And Gary Ward, who has had a big night, 2 for 4. An opposite field home run in the 4th inning. And a single in the 7th. Strike 1.
That fastball right there, and the one he threw to Winfield in the last at bat on the 2-0 pitch, were the best 2 fastballs Shields thrown. He's grinding. Sniffs his first victory.
Deep to right center field. Long run for Moses. It'll bounce off the wall and get away. Christensen will cut it off, and Ward is in with a stand-up double. So the Yankees will bring the tying run to the plate with 1 out here in the 9th inning.
And all Gary does is just continues. He gets a hanger right there from Shields. That's his 10th 2-bagger of the season. Continues to go the opposite way, and very effectively. Eric Christensen, good hustle backing up Moses on the play.
So Ward down at second, and here's Pagliarulo, who is 0 for 4 tonight. 0 for his last 14. 4 for his last 31, but all 4 of those hits have been home runs. Yankees down 10-8 here in the 9th inning. Left field. Bradley comes on. They're 2 men away.
Well, there was a good pitch for Mike to drive right there. And obviously, the way he's been struggling, you got to know his thinking at the plate not real good. But watch here. You're down 2 runs. There's a wheelhouse fastball for him. Again, he's sitting over that right hip, trying to hit over that right hip, and it's awful tough to do.
Well, Lou Piniella is going to go to his bench and bring on Ron Kittle. With 2 outs here in the 9th inning, and the Yankees down 2 runs. Getting activity down in the Mariner bullpen. We had not had any activity up until this point. That's Nunez, the right-hander,
and Clark.
So Ron Kittle representing the final opportunity for the Yankees. Will step in. Should Seattle hold on and win this ball game, they will be half a game behind Kansas City, winners tonight. The Yankees would remain in first place, a game up on Toronto, with the Blue Jays beaten today. And here's Kittle.
Oh, he got it, a hanger, and missed it. Whoa, Lordy.
Kittle hitting at .277 with 2 home runs, 11 RBI. Gary Ward down at second. And the Yankees are down to their final strike.
Well, at least he's given himself 2 good shots at it. He's turned that bat loose twice with good hacks.
The crowd comes to its feet. More than 42,000 on hand. The 0-2 pitch. The Mariners win a wild one, coming back with 4 runs in the bottom half of the 7th inning to even this 3-game series up. And quite a pitching performance by young Steve Shields, who comes out and pitches 3 innings of 1-hit ball to pick up the victory.
He got his breaking ball over, hit some good spots with it, hung a couple, but he was fortunate enough to get away with them. And indeed, the Mariners in a very exciting ball game tonight. 5 home runs, 2 big ones by Kenny Phelps, and they even lit the series at a game apiece.
So the final score here is the Seattle Mariners 10, the New York Yankees 8, and we'll get back with you in just a